Well, it's a nice day today here in central Illinois, middle of July. Finally cooled off to about 85 degrees. So I think today we are going to start getting everything ready for harvest. We're about 60 days out, but we got a lot of shuffling to do. We're going to put all the spring equipment away and start getting all the fall stuff out and start going through it to be ready for harvest. Okay, so we're going to take the 9230 over and get the grain cart. Now, we don't pull the grain cart with the 9230 in the field. It's a bareback. It has no 3-point, no PTO. So I'm just going to go get it and bring it over here so we can use it for that. But as far as you can't hook it up or unload with it, because yeah, got to get a little air in the seat. Bled off since spring. See, this is what I was talking about earlier, this PTO shaft. That's what spins all your augers inside there and gets the grain out. This tractor don't have one, so you can put the pin in it and pull this cart around, but you're not going to be able to use it in the field. Well, we got to take the old grain cart here out to the welding shop. It's got a big dent in the auger. Last fall, the boss man was running it and decided to try to take down a telephone pole with it. So it put a pretty good dent in it when it broke the cylinder when it hit the pole, and it come crashing down and it landed in the saddle and put a big dent in it. But other than that, that was all it hurt. I mean, it broke the cylinder. We had to put a new cylinder on it. But it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And I'm actually not going to tell you how many times he's done that, but that wasn't the first. Of course, he felt like an idiot after he done it. He asked me if I was going to fire him. And I said, well, fuck, it's your grain cart. I mean, you can tear the auger off of it however many times you want. I don't care. But luckily, it wasn't that big of a deal. I forget the cylinder. I mean, they just fucking rape you on them. That damn thing was like $300 or $400. But you had to have it. So, but other than that, it didn't really do much. We just got to get a dent pulled out of the tube on the auger, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yep, shit happens, I guess. And like I say, it wasn't the first time. Boy, I tell you, this hooking and unhooking and shuffling shit around takes a while. I'm going to take the old 40-20 over now. I got to hook onto the grain drill and move it over one slot to make room for the 2 field cultivators. God damn it. I'm so sick and fucking tired of this shit. 30-second job takes 5 fucking minutes. This is the shit I hate. 30-second fucking job takes half the goddamn day. Now, we ought to be good to go. So this is our old Glencoe soil saver chisel plow. These were real popular when I was a kid, but they've kind of went by the wayside now. We only run this on bean stubble because, as you can see, it's not real aggressive for corn stalks. Straight blades on the front, and then got the old-fashioned 4-inch chisels on the back. Works really nice in bean stubble, but corn stalks, you can run it in corn, but man, you really got to babysit it. It'll fucking plug up on you and drag up big balls of shit, and it's no fun. It just kind of makes a mess. So you got to watch it, but it can be done. Now, last year we didn't run it at all. It sat in the shed the entire fall. We never got it out just because once we got the other John Deere disc ripper going, we just kind of kept a guy on it and done corn stalks and bean stubble both. So I suppose we'll run this fall, but we'll just have to see. So this is our John Deere 512 disc ripper. Now these do a lot better job on corn stalks. As you can see, it's got disc blades in the front, and then chisel shanks in the middle, and disc blades in the back. So they really chew the shit out of the stalks, do a nice job. Where that Glencoe that was sitting out there, that's more of a, you don't want heavy trash on one of them. But these will go through about anything. I'll show you here how this works. So as you can see, it's got a row of disc blades in the front, and they really do a nice job of chewing through the stalks. And then you get into chisel shanks in the middle and disc blades in the back. Now, we've never been fans of trying to fucking chisel plow 20 inches deep. You know, you hear all these guys talking about how deep they rip stuff and whatever, and that's fine, but this clay dirt that we farm, the shit runs back together. It's a fucking waste of time and fuel trying to rip that deep. We run that on average 10 to 12 inches deep. We try to set it where you can pull it about 6 miles an hour, so it just depends on the soil type, you know, from one field to the next. But that shit of ripping deep, it don't fucking work down here where we farm. Now, you guys up north, you can probably get by with that, but this clay that we farm, it's a fucking total waste of time. Well, we'll zip this Kong skilly over, put it in the shed. It's a crying shame there wasn't a fucking junkyard between here and there that I could drop it off at, but I guess we'll keep it another year. So So these damn Kong skildies are so heavy in the ass end, you gotta have a jack in the back, otherwise they'll flip over backwards. I tell you what, I fucking hate this tool. I've never liked it from the fucking day we bought it. It ain't made heavy enough, it don't move enough dirt. It's fucking rough behind it. I hate this motherfucker. One year, the fucking pin that holds that jack on, it broke in the middle of the winter, and it fucking slapped that jack all around and just bent the fuck out of it and tore it all up. It's a fucking piece of shit. I hope you guys from Kong Skildy see this, because hopefully this motherfucker will leave soon and there will never be another one of these on our farm again, ever. Especially after buying that new sunflower. That is a fucking field cultivator. This goddamn thing here, I fucking hate it. Absolutely hate it. Okay, so we got that fucking piece of shit unhooked. So now I'm going to pull over and hook onto this disc ripper, get it out of here, and then bring the new sunflower field cultivator over and put it in this spot. Take the old sunflower over now. Tell you what, guys, I cannot say enough good things about this sunflower finishing tool. This is the first sunflower we've ever owned, and now granted, we've only run it this year, but I tell you what, that was one hell of a finishing tool. I really, really liked it. We were a little leery about going to a tool with no rolling baskets, because it's just got the 6-bar harrow on it. You know, so we were a little bit leery at first, but shit, I tell you what, I'd take another one of them in a heartbeat. That's been one hell of a good finishing tool. I really like it. The 6-bar harrow does a fantastic job of leveling, and it's just an all-around good tool. So I would highly recommend anybody that's looking for a good field cultivator, definitely look at a sunflower. I've been highly impressed. Okay, so we got the 2 field cultivators put away, so I'm going to get the 2 chisel plows, back them in front of the 2 field cultivators. That way this fall, all we got to do is back in, hook onto them, and go. Well, that's that. Got all the spring shit put in the back, all the fall shit put in the front. I tell you, it's always nice getting that switching shit around done. That takes a lot of time, a lot of hooking and unhooking and getting on and off. And fuck, seems like always there's a fucking tractor won't start or a truck or something somewhere. So it always takes quite a while. So glad that's done. So I think I'll head back over to the main farm now and unhook the grain cart in the shed. And then I may get the combine out and put the planter where the combine was. Well, I got some stuff to move to get the combine out. Got to move the old Chevy grain truck, which we don't use that for grain anymore. That's just our rock hauler, dirt hauler, whatever. Move the seed tender, and I think I can squeeze out past the draper here, so we'll see. Man, I tell you what, I never, ever put a combine away dirty in the fall. I always wash it. I don't care if it gets down to 30 degrees to get all that shit off of there to keep the mice out of it. But man, I fucking tell you what, them cocksuckers, it just never fucking seems to end. I get sick of that. I mean, we fucking put poison out, traps, everything, and it's not like we got livestock, you know, where it's fucking mice and rats and shit everywhere, but them cocksuckers, I tell you, combines like this, you do not want fucking mice in there chewing around, because there's enough shit goes wrong with electronics the way it is without having fucking mice eating everything up. So, I don't know. Maybe one of these days we can get them all killed. Need to get a good fucking cat, I guess. I'm going to go up top in the motor and check everything before I start it up. It's been setting for a while. I've heard too many horror stories of coons getting in there and guys sending a fucking coon through the fan into the radiator and doing several $1,000s worth of damage. Now, our sheds are always shut up and there's nowhere around where anything's burrowed in, so I don't think there would be anything, but man, I'm not going to fucking roll the dice. So let's go check it out. Nope, everything looks good up here. Don't see any rabid animals. Well, we'll see if this bitch will fire up. I always tend to leave all the shields and shit off of this thing all winter long. After I clean it up in the fall, when I take all the shields off, I just leave them in a pile in the front of the shed. I've always figured, you know, mice like it in where it's dark and like to get in behind shit, so I try to leave them shields off to help keep them out as much as I can. Like I say, we've still got some running around on it, I've seen, but hopefully that helps mitigate some of that shit. So when I'm backing it out, if you see that there ain't no shields on it, that's why I leave them off, because plus when I get it out ready for next fall, you got to take all that shit back off anyway to check things over, so I just leave them off after I wash it. Well, I got this old whore back down in the shed here. Seen a mouse run out from under the tire when I was backing it up. The fucker went under that corn head, so I think I'm gonna pull in there and pick that corn head up. I'm gonna go out here and hook everything up. I'm gonna run the corn head and the separator on the machine and try to kill as many of them little fuckers as I can. So I'm gonna go put the corn head on real quick. So some of you guys are probably looking at this corn head saying, what the fuck is up with the snouts on that thing? And all that is the storage position, I guess you would say. They get a lot of trash and shit built up underneath them, and there's chains and stuff under there that you got to keep tight and some different adjustments. So them snouts raise up out of the way like that so you can get under there to work on shit or clean it out or whatever. So I'll put them back down here after I do some maintenance on it. But yeah, going through the field, they'll be down in the normal position just like you'd always see. So yeah, I'm gonna back out, hook this fucker up and see if we can't kill a few mice. Just seen another one jump out of this corn head. So for some of you guys that have never been around this, wonder how all this works and how you hook it all up. When you seen in there how it was set on the ground, I just picked it up off the ground. So that's all you do there. There's some big hooks up here that hook around this beam. And that's what keeps it attached to the combine. So then you hook up your PTO shaft right here. That's what makes everything on the head turn. And then you hook up your hydraulics here, and that's what moves your deck plates and just some different electronic shit. So I'll show you here. Alright, so I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to turn the corn head on and the separator on the combine. And you're going to see all this shit start turning. You'll probably see some dust come out the back. There's always some left in it. So I'll fire it up and we'll see what happens. Well, I'll give you a little tutorial here. So this switch here, you push down and forward, and that'll turn the head on. But the head will not turn on until the separator, which is the combine itself, is turned on. So you push it down and forward, and that's when everything starts. You can see them chains coming in right there. That's called a gathering chain. So when the stalk of corn comes down, it separates the ear from the stalk goes on through the snapping rolls, and then them chains bring the ears up into the auger, and then right on up into the combine, right underneath your ass, and up into the grain tank. So over here is all your controls then. Now this is better than our R-Series tractors because everything on this is touchscreen. You can do whatever you want. So that's a plus. But this is your throttle over here. You got, damn it, backwards here. Slow, medium, high. That's your gears, 1, 2, and 3. That's four-wheel drive. Parking brake. This is shit you're using when you're cutting beans for your automatic header control. Air conditioner, lights. That's all them stupid fucking buttons like in them R-Series tractors that I try to avoid using. But that's where you adjust the speed of your cleaning fan, your cleaning shoe, your rotor, concave clearance. Then up here shows you your RPMs, miles per hour, header height. And then right here where this bracket is, that'll be flipped down like that. And for those of you that follow me on TikTok, that computer screen that I had in my planner, that same monitor will go right there, and then it'll map the yield as we go through the field. Then this here, when you're going through the field, this will tell you your moisture of the grain, and then that'll tell you your yield per acre. And then this other stuff, you can change all this over here to whatever you want it. So I set that one there. That tells me how full my grain tank is. You know, that'll say 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever. That's the back shaft speed, that PTO shaft right there. That tells you how fast your corn head's running. So that'll tell you the speed of your corn head. That 5.5, that's the pitch. So if you see, it'd be hard to see on camera, but I can either lay that corn head way down flat or I can stand it way up high. So it's basically, you're tipping it this way and that way, and you can tip it that way. Then all the grain goes up here in the grain tank behind you. Window's dirty as fuck right now, but we'll get that all cleaned up. I never got a chance to get the inside of this thing cleaned out after last fall, so gonna do that. I got a few odds and ends to do on it as far as maintenance outside. Okay, so for those of you who've never been around a combine, I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial on how one of these things work. Now I know when you drive by and look at one, you think, holy cow, look at that thing, and you know, you just wouldn't have a clue how to run it and everything else, but actually it's a very simple machine to run. There's really nothing to it at all. And the basics of how it works and how it separates the grain is a rather simple concept too. So I'll show you here. So on your corn head, these are called your gathering chains. These are your snapping rolls. And these are your deck plates. So the way this works is if my hand was a row of corn, it's going to come right up in here. And these snapping rolls, they're spinning real fast. It's going to grab that stalk and it's going to jerk it straight down through there. And when it does, it's going to chew the stalk up. And then it's going to pop the ear off and it's going to land right here. Now these deck plates, I got them wide open right now. They would be closed way down during normal field operations, but they're wide open right now because that's just the way I park it in the winter. So once that snaps the ear off, the ear is going to go right up the gathering chains into that auger. Then it's going to auger it to the center of the combine, and up there right by that black shield, that's called a feeder house. There's a great big chain inside there, and it just starts moving all them ears up underneath your feet into the center of the combine. So when you get around here, that grain is going to come right inside here. That's called a rotor in there. It's got tines on it and it spins really fast. And when the grain hits that, it knocks all the kernels off of the cob. And then all that grain falls down into what they call your shoe auger here. And it starts augering it back. That's called your pre-cleaner. So the idea is your grain will fall down through here and the trash will keep going over the top. There's a cleaning fan right there that's spinning real fast, blowing a whole bunch of air up in the machine like that. And that's separate. It's blowing the chaff up top and the grain is settling down below. I can give you a better look at that back here. So yeah, all the way up front, that was them shoe augers. So that's going to start dumping grain back here. And your cleaning shoe right here, this thing, it shakes back and forth real fast. And all that's doing is separating the grain. The grain is going on down through these grates. The chaff is being blowed up by the cleaning fan, and it comes on out the back, and the grain settles to the bottom. And so when it does that, let me get this shield open. So all the grain falls all the way down to this cross auger right here. And it comes across into this elevator. It goes all the way up, and that dumps it in the grain tank. So that's all clean grain up there. That's called your clean grain elevator. Then this here, that's called your return auger. So if you get a grain sample and you think, man, that just don't look right, it's got a lot of shit in it, it looks pretty dirty, I want to run that through the combine again. So it falls into a different auger, comes across. This is called your return elevator. It brings it right up here, and as you can see, it goes across, dumps it right back into the rotor, and it runs her through the combine a second time. Now on corn, you should really never have to run corn through a combine twice. It shells easy. I mean, you can get some numbers that shell kind of hard, but for the most part, you shouldn't be returning corn because all it's going to do is just grind the fuck out of it and it's going to make a mess. So corn, I generally run my bottom sieve all the way open to let the grain only go through the combine one time. But there's a bunch more pulleys, electronics, some fucking emissions bullshit, but there's a lot of moving parts on one of these, but it's not nearly as intimidating as it looks. I mean, you know, most of the time this shit don't give you that much trouble. I mean, it can, and it can be a nightmare, but for the most part, it's not something that you're out here just working on every fucking day of the week. Well, I'm going to call it quits for today. It's hotter than fuck. My clothes are soaked. So I didn't mean to make this first video go this long, but I did think it was a good opportunity for you guys to see some of the equipment, what it is, and different stuff like that. So at least this way, if you got any questions, you can ask them now. So the next videos I make won't be near this long. I'm going to try to keep things, you know, to 10 or 15 minutes or so. So that's it for today, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.